So, Kamen Rider Geats episode 23. This episode had quite a few bombshell revelations dropped on us, and also quite the bombshell at the end of the episode, if you watched it. But this episode had some interesting lore, some interesting tidbits, but if you were paying close attention to the show, then you were kind of catching on to everything going on in the background, and possibly leading up to this moment. And the big thing in this episode is you find out that the game is made for people in the future. So the audience, the sponsors and stuff like that, they're from people from a distant future, or possibly what everyone else has been speculating, another universe. But the future thing makes sense with all the sponsors having motifs based on the characters they're sponsoring. You see Jin with his terrible fucking suit having sort of a fox motif, and then you have Bebera in this episode having a Buffer, a bull motif going on, similar to Buffer, where Buffer is based on a buffalo. So we have those sort of interesting things going on. And no doubt about it, the other sponsor for Neon, Kyun, will probably have some kind of fox motif as well for him as well. And then old dude is definitely going to be a frog rider, which should be cool to see, and we'll definitely probably be seeing that next week with the previews. But this episode, like I said, it started off really interesting, where you had Jin sort of picking up where we last left off, and he was able to transform into Kamen Rider Jin, very original name, and his powers are fucking broken. They're gravity powers. Although they looked really cool visually, effects-wise and stuff like that, they're very broken to show how powerful this character is, how he was just able to control the flow of gravity and sort of knock everyone around in the episode. It was really cool to see, but again, his powers are broken. But if his powers are broken and we know who another new threat is, he's probably going to get bodied and jobbed out later down the line once we find out who the next or upcoming villain is going to be to put him in his place. But we have Bebera stealing the freaking Game Master driver, and she confronts the goddess of creation, which is a giant statue, and she's unable to get her wish granted because she runs into the producer, and she makes the comment that they've upgraded their security since last time. So this shows, or that line of dialogue shows, that this has happened more than once with someone sort of sabotaging the game and trying to get to the goddess of creation to sort of get their own wish without playing the game. So, like they said, they've upped the security in this episode. And in this episode, the main cast of characters are trying to learn what's going to happen, but they never really get a proper answer until the end of the episode, when Ace is able to pull it all together, which was a cool moment with him fighting Buffer, I will say that, although he does get knocked out, but that's because he does find out that revelation at the end of the episode. Okay, if I could go on a bit of a tangent rant here, is because the Game Master's driver got stolen and everything has been flipped on its head with the recent events, that means the whole disaster thing that we've been doing for the past couple of episodes is now over with. It's null and void. Neon gets off scot-free, even though we found out that she was the disaster at the end of last week's episode. So that whole plotline we've been going through for the past couple of weeks and a month at this point, I think that storyline's been going on for a month, that has no consequences because Neon gets away scot-free. All the twists and the turns, they were kind of for nothing because she gets away in the end. Now, she does have this moment where she reads a letter from the sponsor saying, "Oh, I was very sad when I found out you were the disaster, but I like you, I think you're cool," and that gives her the inspiration to go on and keep on fighting, which was kind of her moment that Neon has in this episode, which was pretty nice when we get to see her use the sort of fever slot and the freaking music guitar, and she's got the double guitar, the beat buckle, whatever you want to call it. And she gets the double guitar, which was really cool. But yeah, everyone else sort of gets their power-ups, or they get their gift box in this episode. Apart from Ace, because Ace's gift is having Jin fight on his side, which was a really cool fight between the two teaming up. But Keiwa gets the boost buckle, and we see him use the boost buckle ninja, which was really cool. And yeah, but also in this episode, you see Keiwa and Neon find out that Daichi's alive the whole time, which they didn't run into him, which I kind of forgot about. It's like, wait, oh yeah, they don't know that Daichi's still around, so that would be a surprise for them. But the episode has that big dramatic cliffhanger where Bibora transforms into her henshin form, which is a giant bull, mech CGI bull. Looks cool, looks really cool, but what she does, she kind of flies into the ground and kamikazes, leaving off a big explosion, and we don't know who's going to survive or not. But fun fact, I think most of our heroes survive because we see the next episode preview, so it is what it is. But interesting note to say in this episode is it seems like our heroes know too much, so I wonder if they're going to hit the reset button again and make them forget everything. They'll start the game over from scratch, or do they know too much and they're going to keep fighting moving forward? So that's something that I want to see what's going to happen in this episode, because you have that scene where Samori says, "Oh, I enjoyed watching this universe or this world. It sucks that it couldn't go on a little bit longer." And then the producers have their sort of talk saying, "We'll have to make our move once we get the Game Master driver back." Something like that. But next week's episode is called SP Special Episode, I believe, and I don't know if it's going to be a clip show. A lot of people are speculating on it can be a clip show. We do see some new footage in there with the sponsors about Transform, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I think this episode was alright. Pretty good. I enjoyed it. It could be a 10 out of 10, but we'll see how it goes inside with next week's episode to see if I'll change my mind. But yeah, like this episode, we had a big couple of bombshell reveals literally at the end of the episode. We find out some twists and turns, and yeah, we see some new suits. So with that said, I think I'm going to bring this review of Kamen Rider Geats episode 23 to a close. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will see you guys later. Peace out, take care, bye. Thanks for watching.